Okay, happy to see you all again. We are going to talk about Bodhicitta and 6 perfections. So, I want to know a little bit about you. Did you hear or did you study first Bodhicitta? You just raise your hand there. Maybe, yeah. Okay. What about 6 perfections? Okay. Now, it seems many of you are new here, so I don't know how to start. Anyway, first we try to understand the name or the term Bodhicitta. It is a Sanskrit term, so it has 2 parts, Bodhi and Citta. So Bodhi has 2 meanings. Bodhi means awakening. Bodhi means enlightenment. Basically, when you say enlightenment, you are talking about the awareness, understanding, knowing, so awakening basically. And Citta is mind. But when you say mind, even in English, mind has 2 meanings. Mind is mind, the consciousness, mind. But mind can be verb, mind your head. Yeah. So this Citta translated into English like intention, wish, willing, and sometimes worry. Yeah. So here you have an intention, or you mind something and you want to that awakening state. So that is the meaning of Bodhicitta, right? So you have a thought. Okay. So Citta, here when you say Citta, I mind sentient beings, basically, I pay attention sentient beings. And then if I pay attention for sentient beings, if really I want to help all other beings, and then you look back to you, are you at the state that you can help, or you are still in the situation that you have problems, right? So then still you are not freed from many problems. And then the first job is to try yourself free from the difficulties, from the problems. Then you think about enlightenment. So that's basically the Buddhahood. But if we simplify that, so awakening, basically you must have a special understanding or special understanding for yourself, and then you can do something for others. So that kind of mind is called Bodhicitta, right? So then again, what kind of problem are you talking about, right? So depend on that, what kind of understanding, what kind of ability you should have. So recently I checked commentaries on the the text which is written by Shantideva. I found like 6 different commentaries here in Nelson itself. So it's wonderful. So I have 2 books here with me. So anyway, so different teachers, different masters have different approach to explain this one. So basically you can think, okay, if you help, so there's a earthquake in Turkey, there's a flood in Auckland, right? So if you really want to go there and help, the first thing, you should not be there in the problem, right? You should be healthy. You should have the ability to do something. Otherwise, you will become, problem there, right? So in this way, the bodhicitta, basically bodhicitta is not that easy to cultivate, of course. So first of all, you must understand what is the happiness and what is the problem. Are you really happy? Then of course many people more or less struggle a lot to free from like different kind of problems, right? So then you try to free from yourself, you try to make yourself happy, or you try in different way. Like for example, if you are in the family and you always try to get something for yourself, and then it doesn't work, because all other people who are there in the family, they will not so happy with you, right? So instead of trying to do something for yourself always, if you help people who are there, and then you will be somebody, everybody says, okay, she is good, he is good, right? In a way, you will have a good environment to be happy and to be friend with people. So doing something for others is a way to be happy yourself, instead of doing something by yourself for yourself, right? So this is the basic idea how the people who are called Bodhisattva cultivated this mind. Okay, I think of others instead of thinking myself. Everybody is same, they want happiness, nobody wants suffering, right? But the way how you achieve that is different, right? So this is very basic. I'm going to read 2 verses about Bodhicitta. There was a master called Shantideva. He was born in India around maybe 7th century, 7th, 8th century. And he wrote a text called Bodhicharya. So Bodhi is again this enlightenment, Charya is the behavior, and Avatara is entering into that part, the behavior. So that text has 10 chapters. So the first chapter talks about Bodhicitta, and so here I have 2 verses. I will read. When I speak, somehow I can communicate in English, but when I read, I'm reading some part of this paper today. I translated from Tibetan, from Sanskrit, but some of the verses I used others' translation. So when I read others' translation, my English is not so stable, So anyway, I studied English 2012 in Sera Monastery. I studied for 1 month and then I gave up. And then again I started. So somehow I know I can speak, but it is very much limited. So the first one, the first verse which I am going to read, it is talking about 2 types of bodhicitta. So there are 2 types of bodhicitta. Okay, it says, this translation is from Lama Allen. He translated, so I am using his translation. In brief, the spirit of awakening is known to be of 2 kinds. The spirit of aspiring for awakening, that is first one, and then the spirit of venturing towards awakening. So that is the second one. So I will read the next verse, then maybe you understand more. Just as one perceives the difference between a person who yearns to travel and a traveler, so do the learned recognize corresponding difference between these 2. So okay, there are 2 types of bodhicitta, 2 types of mind, and that is, first one is wish to achieve enlightenment or wish to be awakening, and the second one is traveling, working, walking on the path. So the analogy which given in second verse, so there are 2 people, one want to go to Nelson, one is already on the path. So then the second one I will be talking here and there when I talk 6 perfection. The first one, wish to achieve enlightenment, right? So again, why you want to achieve enlightenment? The most important point is, do you want to help others or not? Like normally I ask few questions when I talk about this first one. First of all, do you want to alive or not? It's a very basic, stupid question, but I feel this is important, right? Many people say, of course I want to alive, right? And then if you want to alive, if you want to live, do you want to do something or you don't want to do anything? If you live and you don't do anything, it's stupid, right? So I think most of you will say, I want to do something, right? And then if you want to do something, you want to do something good, or you want to, like, whatever you can do, whatever, like good or bad, I don't care, I just want to do something. It again seems stupid, right? It's not good thing. Whatever you can do, I will do it. What is that, right? So okay, I will do good things. Then last one comes to the first bodhicitta. Okay, you want to do something always good for you, or you do something good for your loved ones, maybe your kids, like your mother, whatever. So good people always say, I want to do something more than doing for myself. I want to do something for my mother and this, and then they start this bodhicitta. Okay, you want to do something for your mother or your friend, and then your mother has a best friend. If you buy fruits, you give to your mother. If your mother's best friend is there, do you want to give her a little bit or only your mother? it's again stupid. You just give her best friend, that's good, right? So when you go like this, beings are limitless, and to do good, to doing something for others is also limitless. So once you do that, sometimes you really feel like giving something to others, and for example you give a chocolate, many people get angry, because they don't want even touch chocolate. You understand? Others' problems are again limitless. They have different problems. Even you think you are doing good, they don't know that, right? So then it's important to know what actually people are thinking. What kind of help, how I understand other people, right? So then if you really don't know yourself completely, helping others is not an easy job, right? So there you have a question. Okay, first of all, I study maybe psychology, philosophy, religion, whatever you can, language. So understanding, trying to get more knowledge, education is so important. You feel that, right? So then that is the way to try to achieve enlightenment. Yeah. So then it's not easy again to achieve the enlightenment, but you always wish, right? So I think that is enough to introduce a little bit, and then we will be talking more here and there, and I move to sixth perfection. Yeah. I hope we have question and answer for a long time, because I don't like to talk a lot and then don't listen to others. I want to listen more from you guys. Okay. Sixth perfection. Paramita is the Sanskrit term. So I'm talking about this Buddhist philosophy or Buddhist path. So that basically comes from India, and then the language is Sanskrit and Pali. So this Sashta Paramita. So Sashta means 6. That's okay. So how we understand that Paramita, right? In Sanskrit language, Para, and there is M, Param, and there is Ita. So that is, how the language. So Para, literally Para means the other side of the samsaric, or other side of this life, other side, Para. So the M is the grammatically the accusative particle, like true, when we say in English true. So param ita. So ita is going. So basically going other side of this worldly life is perfect. So perfection, six perfections. So 6 is okay, the number. So perfection here, whatever you do, this worldly life, or this think about this life. This life doesn't mean like you have to die and then the next life, now whatever you are doing. So what this life, you always have a selfish reason. If somebody say something bad to you, obviously you get angry. If somebody tell you something good, obviously you feel good. So this is somehow this life. It is not a good thing, because if other people tell something good to you, maybe you feel good, but that is the reason why you feel bad when other people criticize you. So this is the life. So going beyond this, thinking beyond this, is perfection, according to this tradition. So then they talk about 6, and the first one is called dana in Sanskrit. Dana. So dana translated in English in different ways again. So today we use generosity. So it can be offering, it can be giving, sacrifice, I used generosity. Yeah. And the second one is called shila. Shila is morality, disciplines. And third one is shanti. Shanti is tolerance, peaceful mind. And virya. Virya is the fourth one. Again, translated into English in different ways. Like Lama Allen translated the zeal, Z-E-A-L, zeal. Then I saw many other scholars translate as effort. And then there are other also terms used. Then dhyana. Dhyana is concentration, the focused mind. And then pranja. Pranja is the wisdom. So these are 6, right? Then we are talking about here how you achieve enlightenment. Okay. So these are the part. If you practice these 6, then you achieve enlightenment. I'm sure. But why 6? Why not 5? Why not 7? Why 6? Is there any reason? This can be a question. Why 6? Right? And then is there any reason that the generosity first, then morality, and then tolerance, effort, and then concentration, and then wisdom? Why is there any reason? They are talking about the dana or generosity first, and then last the wisdom. It's important to practice together these 6. First of all, I try to talk in general way, and then we read some verses from Shantideva, from Chandrakirti, so we will go more deep, and that time you can sleep, not now. Okay. If you really want to have a pranja, the wisdom, understanding, knowing, knowledge, so these are almost same. If you want to have wisdom for anything, right? If you read a book and you want to understand whatever there in the book, so that is wisdom, that is understanding, right? For that wisdom, the most important thing is you should have a focused mind. The 5th one, dhyana, 5th one. If you cannot focus, you don't understand, right? So if you can focus, then you understand. When you understand, you have wisdom, right? Do you agree? Yeah? Okay. To focus, having a focused mind, concentration, what we need, right? Then the 4th one, virya, so the effort. So here it's the effort is something like the thought. When you do something, you have a thought, a feeling, joyful feeling, right? So you do something happily, yeah, not just forcefully. So that happy feeling for your work, even reading or whatever you do, that joyful feeling is virya. This is the effort. Hard work and effort, not same. Hard work you can force, even you feeling sleeping, even but joyful feeling is active, doing something happily, so then you can focus, you know. So having a joyful feeling, whatever you do, maybe you are playing music, but try to have a joy to do that is important. Then you can have a focus, right? And then to have a joy to do whatever you do, what do we need, right? And we need the third one, tolerance. Yep. Tolerance is a zopa in Tibetan. The zopa means full rest mind, you know, fully rest. You know, your mind is fully rest. You know, so that is tolerance. You know, if your mind is rest, fully rest, even other people criticize you, even other people irritate you. When your mind is fully rest, and then you can, you know, handle the situation. Right? Once your mind is not restful, and then you always react in different way. So that is tolerance. Yeah. Then second one, okay, to have that restful mind, you must follow some ethical disciplines, you know, shila, right? If you don't lie, if you don't steal anything, if you don't talk nonsense things, so basically there are 10 disciplines in Buddhism, not only Buddhism, Christian, Muslim, many of Judaism, they talk about 10 virtuous actions. So if you follow these ethical disciplines, more or less your mind will be restful. Your mind is always in a peaceful situation, right? So following the ethical disciplines are very much important. Then to follow the ethical disciplines, you need to do something. You know, you have to give something. If you don't give anything, you are not going to get anything, right? So that is the universe, kind of that is nature, right? You give something, you get something, right? So that is generosity. But in Buddhism, especially Mahayana Buddhism, the generosity, giving or offering is different. As we talked before, you give yourself to others. It's not feeling so good, right? How can I give myself for others? Yeah. Who are you? When you think about you, when I think about myself, what I can have. I speak. I use my hand, and I have a body, and then I have a mind. That's all, right? Other than that, I have nothing. So if I speak for others, and I think other people's benefit, and I act, do something for others, that moment, you don't need to do all the time, but for 5 minutes, you speak for others, not for yours, for your benefit, and you think of other people's benefit, and then you do something physically which is beneficial for other people, and then basically you are giving yourself for others, right? At that moment you have no selfish thinking. Once you have that quality, the ethical disciplines just follow automatically. You don't need, you what is the reason to lie if you speak for others? When you lie, because of your selfish thinking, you lie, right? When you're stealing something, because you think it's important for yourself, right? So once you do by speaking, by your body, or by your thought, those 10 virtuous actions just automatically follow you, right? Then all other things will come. So that is the beauty of giving yourself for others. Understand? So that's why these 6 are important. Yeah. Now I'm going to a little bit more deep. So if you have one question, we can just wake up some people.
How do the 6 perfections translate to the 8? What's it?
The right livelihood,
right effort, right livelihood. These they seem very similar.
Yeah, they are 8 Acharya kind of behavior, 8 noble, 8-fold noble path, right? 8-fold. That is a little bit different. That right livelihood they talk about, right? So that is a different thing. So, are you asking like how you translate or what is the difference?
They just seem very similar, like right effort.
Yeah, somehow you are, you can read it here and there. But that is a package that you can practice, right? This 6 is again package that you can. So there's no, we cannot say there's no difference, but yeah, somehow you have here and there. Yeah. Okay. First, I read a few verses. I was checking. There are many different masters, but I read the Chandrakirti's text. That is Madhyamaka Avatara. Again, that text has 10 chapters. The first one is talking about the generosity, and I read and try to translate, and I try to mark, and everything is important. So everything I cannot read, so I just randomly pick up some. So I will read them here. So yeah. The first one. At this point, first cause of full awakening, I'm talking about the generosity. The perfection of generosity will become preeminent, committed to giving away even his very flesh. Giving becomes a sign to infer his unseen qualities. So it is saying that if you practice, even you give your flesh to others, you have a special joy. But that is unseen quality. That means we really even cannot think, right? So that is an unseen quality. But if you know how to practice that, it can happen, right? So that that makes you to think. Maybe you can study more. I don't know. But there is something we have to think about. It asks it. This is a question for us. But if you read and think, we don't know when cause and conditions come together. In a moment you become very special person, right? So second one, those with weak, compassionate, and ruthless mind who seek their own welfare with enthusiasm. Even for them, the wealth they desire will come from generosity, a cause that relieves suffering. So it is still talking about the first one, generosity. So yeah, even you give something. So giving is the best way to help. So basically like this, yeah. And then it is talking about the advantage of generosity. Indeed, it is through the practice of generosity that he will swiftly, at some point, meet Arya beings. He will then cut the clean and continuum of circling existence, and as a result, he will journey to the state of peace. So, if you can give, you will meet Arya being. Arya being means very good people. If you always stingy, you have less chance to meet good people, right? So giving has an advantage. Making a connection with good friend, like educated. Arya beings is not just good. Arya beings means the people who are the level that they can see the truth directly, they can experience that kind of. But just giving has this kind of advantages, right? My experience, like if I can, make somebody more happier, like give a good gift, and then even my teachers, I have like 30-40 teachers, Sanskrit teachers, English teachers, and of course Buddhist teachers, and so I can feel if I can give more, they can have more time for me, so you understand. So this here the Chandrakirti is talking about these things, but this is not the perfection of giving. So the perfection of giving here, I just read this one and then we can move to next one, second one. The generosity, devote of the gift, receiver and giver, it is called supreme mundane perfection. But when attachment of those three arises, it is then said to be mundane perfection. So it's difficult to understand. Here, your generosity cannot be separate from the wisdom. Then that becomes perfection. The one who is giving, let's say the phone or whatever, and the one is receiving, and then the gift. Yeah. If you have a attachment to the giver, and then again you can have arrogance, you will end up having like destructive emotion even you give. If you have an attachment to the gift, then again you will choose the best, not best, again you differentiate between these two, or again it becomes a problem for you. If you have an attachment towards the one who is receiving, then maybe you give to good people, maybe you choose people, you cannot give to everybody, right? So that again become a problem when you practice the generosity, So if you have no attachment towards the receiver, attachment towards the giver, attachment towards the gift, then that, is the perfect. And okay, sometimes we can be emotional, okay, I want to give. But that time, if you do something emotionally without wisdom, after sometimes maybe you regret. Oh, I should not do this. Right? Oh, I gave something to him, but he is not good for me. So this kind of problem will come. First, you start with doing something good, but after sometimes that good work will make you feel more bad. That should not happen, right? So from the starting point, you must have understanding, wisdom, what you are going to do, right? So this is something very special. This part, okay, you have no attachment towards all of these three, but still you give, right? So that is so beautiful, because you go and you don't really care, beautiful, handsome, or nothing, just give whatever you can, right? So you really don't care, like, okay, this is beautiful, this is good, I need, this is something that which is not so useful, I give. So you are giving, or you are throwing something to others, right? Understand? So that should not happen. Still, it is difficult to explain, but I hope you understand something here, right? And you can think about it. So that is the first one. We talk about 6 perfections, but when you understand this completely, all these 6 qualities can be there in one. So for that, we have to study a little bit more. This is a book which Tsongkhapa explained these 6 perfection. I just carry this book. It's heavy, but I believe that I can earn more merits. I'm not going to read that one, but I just believe that this is a good thing to carry. So I just carry. From India, I took maybe 7-8 books. I didn't open yet, but just I believe this is a good thing to do, right? So you don't know, maybe sometimes you don't have battery in your phone and you open one verse can change your life. So this is the reason. But so to know this 6 perfection completely, it will take maybe little time. It's depend on your brain or your wisdom. Yeah. So anyway, okay. So that is the first one. Second one is ethical discipline. Still, I'm referring to Chandrakirti. Yeah. To refer to the masters is sometimes important. I also feel I can say many things, but I believe there in the past many masters experienced their profound wisdom. So when they experience this profound wisdom, compassion, and they share their thought, it has a positive energy. So I don't have, I can say, I just use the language, I just studied all of these things. So to refer to those masters and to just read out the text is always good. I know reading the text sometimes boring, but it's okay. Okay, the second one, ethical discipline. I just pick up 2 verses from Chandrakirti. First one, who relinquishes what and in relation to whom, when any of those 3 is objectifying. Such morality is described as mundane perfection. Free of attachment to those three is supreme mundane perfection. So that is more or less what we discussed. So if you have still like kind of grasping towards these three, your practice of generosity is not perfect. When you say not perfect, yesterday Sirin asked me a question. If this is not perfect, then why we practice? It doesn't. If it is not perfect, it doesn't mean it is not good. Even it is not perfect, it can be very good. I said it is not best, but it is very good, right? So if it is very good to practice generosity, even you have a little bit attachment towards the receiver, don't stop. Okay? When you can give, just give. Even you give the second-hand phone, the new one you keep, that's okay, right? So still you have to do, because it is going to help other people, right? But for your future, make sure that you will not end up by thinking in negative way. So this is the best way to start, right? Okay, the second verse. The Bodhisattva born the radiant moon of morality, who is not of circling existence, yet its glory, the stainless, who like moonlight on the autumn night removes the pain from the mind of sentient beings. So ethical discipline has this kind of quality. When you practice, when you follow the rule, it is going to make other people relaxed. Even you follow traffic rules, many people will be happy. Forget about other things. Yeah. So then it give an analogy, the autumn moon light. This is India, So moon has a coolness, right? When you see the moon, you are always in the cool temperature. In the cool temperature, and you always feel good. But I don't know that the cold places. So this is Indian literature, ancient literature. So when you say, okay, you give example, and then if in India, if you give the example of moon, they always feel good because it is extremely hot. So you understand, when people are feeling very hot, and you think about moon, it is a good thing. But you can think of sun also. I think there is no problem. So the meaning, if you follow the discipline, ethical disciplines, people are going to feel happy, right? So okay. Then tolerance, the third one. Again, I have two verses. If you feel boring, I can skip one. Yes.
And that verse, the previous one, that verse from Chandrakirti, is he saying that when you practice ethical behaviour, the effect on other people is like the coolness of the autumn wind? Is that what he's saying?
Okay, I can read it. I also didn't understand much, but I understand Tibetan, so I just say something. So I can read this one. like who, like moonlight. Like means who is like the moonlight on an autumn night removes the pain from the mind of sentient beings. Okay, the one who is following, practicing the ethical discipline is like the moonlight in the autumn. So autumn basically there's no cloud, you know. So when you in the autumn you see moon more clear, right? So basically it is talking about you have a more light which can, you know, make other people more relaxed. So you will be like this. Yeah, it's okay.
Well, he's writing in India, isn't he?
Yeah.
So the autumn moon is cool. So
Yes,
you
yes, yeah,
children
yes.
relax.
So if you will write, what's good in New Zealand? To think, you know,
various climate.
garden. Maybe what is, if you give an example,
Maybe spring.
spring.
I don't know, but everybody's different.
I always feel good in New Zealand. Everything's good. Yeah, okay. Then the tolerance. Neither contempt, abusive speech, nor disgrace harms the body. Why then, mind, do you become angry? So this is from Shantideva, the 5th chapter. So of course, all these masters talk the tolerance, but I found this is interesting, because if somebody use abusive speech, you get angry, right? And then he was asking, it is not harming your body. Forget about mind. Yeah. If I say you are very bad, I will kill you. I don't know. I can use this word here, but if I say that, you get angry. Then Shantideva thinks it's funny because it is not harming you at all, and then even it is not harming your body. You don't get, you know, when you fall from cycle, you can injure, but but if I say something bad to you, your body, it doesn't harm your body, then why you get angry? He asked this question. So this is about tolerance, you know. What do you think? Why you get angry? Do you get angry?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? It's a good question. I don't know. Because like you say, I'm not getting physically harmed, but it hurts very much sometimes, somebody's words.
Yeah, sometimes, right? Not always.
Not always.
That's good. Yeah. This one, the tolerance, is something that if you never get angry, I think you cannot have tolerance. Getting angry is sometimes good, but if you are not mindful, if you are not aware what really you are doing, then that is a problem. For example, if you are strong and if you have a power and still you don't kill, you don't stealing, you know, you just don't do it, even you have the strength, then people say he or she is good, right? If you have no power to kill, if you have no strength, then there's no point to say good, because you are doing nothing, right? Like you have no strength to do these bad things. So the tolerance is like this, you know, when somebody irritates you and you are mindful and you are calm, you think, okay, what is happening? Yeah, is it harming me? You know, how I am getting angry. You just calm down and check and think, where is that feeling, in my head or in my arms. Of course, sometimes it is extremely difficult, but even you are just at the home and not getting angry at all, and you can have, recall that moment when you get angry with somebody, and you can think actually what is happening there, right? So there you can find the answer there. Okay, nothing is happening, but just without reason, I just mess up things. So that kind of awareness, mindful thinking about yourself more and more, that is tolerance, right? So that makes you more peaceful, more calm, more positive, more open-minded, So that is restful mind. We talked about the tolerance before, right? So how you can be restful? If somebody says something and you just shout back, you are not restful. If you can really have 2 minutes, 3 minutes to see yourself at that moment, more or less your mind is more restful. So that is going to help you a lot. And not only you, it is going to help other people, society, family. Once you mess up everything and then even you regret, that is too late, right? So just, from beginning it is difficult. But if you do once, 2 times, and then you really know what is happening, and you can change completely. That I believe. Okay. And then there is another verse. Again, it is talks about what really you think, what is happening in your life. Yeah? At the loss of praise, fame, my own mind appears to me just like a child who wails in the distress when its sand castle is destroyed. To have a restful mind, it is important to understand what is going on. The mother take baby to the beach, and they both build the sand castle and then play whole day. And then in the evening, the mother says, "Let's go," and then baby cry because she doesn't want to leave that sand castle. But mother knows this is not real house, right? So you're supposed to have understanding of this kind of understanding for all of your possessions. One day more, sooner or later, we are going to leave everything, right? So this is not in our control. So if you have a preparation or understanding for this, your mind is always in a restful state, right? It's like the mother, okay, she plays there with the baby whole day. She built the house and she say, this is the window, this is the door, But when the time comes, she is ready. So we are still baby, Whatever we are building, doing, relation, whatever, we have a baby kind of mind. So once you are free from that, then nothing is problem. Yeah. Now, still we have 3. Again, this is from Shantideva, the chapter number 7. Thus, one who has patience should cultivate zeal. Okay, patience is fourth one. Now third one, and then this zeal or effort is fourth one. Because awakening is established with zeal, means with effort, and there is no merit without zeal. You cannot have merit if you don't make effort. Just as there is no movement without wind. Right? So once you have patience is restful mind. Your mind is in restful, but this is still not active. To cultivate the more quality, your mind should be active towards something. So that should not be forceful. It should be, with joy. So that is zeal, effort, virya in Sanskrit. Then Shantideva asked, what is zeal? What is effort? Right? It is an enthusiasm for virtues. Virtues means it is not just hard work, but it is a joy to do something good. Enthusiasm for the virtues. What is said to be its antithesis. It is spiritual sloth, clinging to the reprehensible, apathy, and self-contempt. So, here it is talking about what is the zeal. Zeal is enthusiasm, kind of mind towards the virtuous actions, and it talks about opposite, the laziness, right? So there are three types of laziness. The first one, you lack of self-confidence. You think, okay, I cannot do it, right? I cannot practice because maybe I have no time. You have always something to say. So that lack of self-confidence is one. And then doing something wrong, if you are in the class, you're supposed to read, you cannot listen music, right? So most of people, they do something else instead of doing whatever they are doing. So that is a laziness. So if you are working, you work. If you are on holiday, you are holiday. Right? So most of the time, people think about holiday when they are working, and then they always think about work when they are on holiday. So if you are on working, work. If you are holiday, right? So that is the second one. Right? Then then we have a problem that I will do. Right? So that is also laziness. Right? I will do. After college, I will do. After marriage, I will do. Right? After retirement, I will do. After my maybe grandchildren complete college, I will do. So then we will finish life. So that is also again laziness. So if you don't have these three, and then you are so active and so joyful whatever you are doing. Yeah. So these three. I think this is important to remember. Now we are at the fifth one. Dhyana. Fifth one, I picked up one verse from Shantideva. It's interesting because the Chandrakirti was born around 6th century, and he wrote the text on the sixth perfection. but he wrote only 2 lines for dhyana, 2 lines, not even the 1 verse. 1 verse has 3-4 lines, right? The Chandrakirti in this Bodhicharya Avatara, only 2 lines are there for the dhyana, for the concentration. But Shantideva wrote 187 verse. So I don't know, but the 6th one, wisdom, I will give you the verse number. So they both wrote a lot. So I picked up 1 verse from Shantideva among those 187 verse. I just pick up 1. So I try to get English translations. I found 3. I will read these 3, but still I was not understanding how can I explain. I have the Tibetan translation, and I have Sanskrit here, but these 3 English translations I didn't understand. So I tried to translate by myself this morning. So I have 4 translations for this verse. I just read the Sanskrit one. Shamathena vipasyana ayuktaha kuruti klesha visham itya tveta samathaha prathamam gavishaniyaha sa cha loke nira paksha ya abir ratya. So that is the Sanskrit one, Shamathena Vipassanaya. So by the Shamatha and the Vipassana is achieved. So Vipassana and Samatha Vipassana we heard, right? So Vipassana is the wisdom. The Vipassana is achieved by the Shamatha. So Shamatha is the concentration. So that is the Sanskrit one. So here the first translation is the first one, Lama Allen translated. I read 3 of them. Then I explain my translation. Realizing that one who is well endowed with insight through conscience eradicates mental afflictions, one should first seek quiescence. Quiescence here is shamatha, but I don't know I'm reading right or wrong. So how do you pronounce Quiescence?
Quiescence.
Quiescence. Different. Thank you. I should improve my English. Right? Quiescence is due to detachment towards the world, and due to joy. I don't know how do you understand, but it's okay. Then second one is translated by Kit Krusby and Indru Skilton from Oxford University. So they read like, realizing that one well attuned to insight through the tranquility can destroy the defilements, one should firstly seek tranquility. So they used tranquility for shamatha. And then that by disregarding one's delight in the world. So that is their translation. And the third one is Stephen. He is saying like, having understood that disturbing conceptions are completely overcome by superior insight, indulged with calm, abiding, abiding, yes. First of all, I should search for calm, abiding, right? This is achieved through the genuine joy of those unattached to worldly life. So that is their translation. So if I have to explain this one of these, I will mess up, I think. Okay. So now the most beautiful translation. Realize that the destructive emotions are abandoned by the wisdom, which is well associated with concentration. So first of all, search the concentration which comes from the joy, which is free from the desire for the materialistic world. Okay, this is my translation. I don't know, but I feel this is very good. Because I understand very well. Okay, so what you have to do, first of all, you have to abandon the desire for the materialistic world. There you can have a joy. Okay. So because of that joy, you can have a concentration, focused mind. And once you have a focused mind, that wisdom come, and that wisdom destroy or abandon all destructive emotions in you. Whatever destructive emotion you have, once you have this wisdom, these all are gone. So then you can call this liberation, enlightenment, happy, whatever you call that. I don't have any problem once you have that state. So yeah, so it's important, Okay, you have to have shamatha, the concentration, but you must have wisdom. But that shamatha can help you to cultivate the wisdom. But then wisdom can destroy the negative emotions, destructive emotions. But first of all, you should have less desire for things. That is important. So once you have more desire, you can enjoy, no problem. You can have car, you can have house. Buddha never say you should have house. Having a house and having attachment for a house is totally different. Like the Saint Costa, the mother has this, but she has no attachment with this. So that is that what we should try. So I think I already explained the sixth one, right? The wisdom. But I just read one or two verses here, and then we have more time for discussion. Then I have one verse from Shantideva and then one verse from Chandrakirti. So this sixth chapter about the wisdom, Pranja, these two masters wrote the text, and first one, Shantideva, wrote 167 verses for the wisdom. 167 verses. And the Chandrakirti wrote how many? 226. 226. So this the translator, His Holiness Dalai Lama's translator, Tenzin translated this book, because this is the root text is Chandrakirti's work on the sixth perfection, and the commentary is written by Tsongkhapa, the great master of Tibet. So the translator is the translator of His Holiness Dalai Lama, the best translator, So I think this book is the best one for this study. But I will not give you. Yeah. Okay, the Shantideva says, the sage means here Buddha, taught this entire system for the sake of wisdom. You know, we talked about 5 perfections, right? These, once you have wisdom, those 5 are nothing. You even don't need to touch. To have this 6th one, then you need these 5. So the Buddha taught all of these things to have the wisdom. And therefore, with the desire, here they used desire, towards of suffering. If you want to remove suffering, if you have a desire, if you have a willing, if you have a wish to abandon the suffering or abandon the problems, the one should develop wisdom. So, many people want to free from the problems, but they just talk about problem and they repeat, and you have to cultivate the wisdom, develop the wisdom. So that's what he said. Okay. Then from the Chandrakriti, just as a single man with eyes can easily lead a group of blind men to their desired destination, here too intelligent leads the sightless virtues and guides them to the liberation. So if you have a wisdom, you are like the man who is having eye, and you can lead a group of people who are doing a very good job, generosity, tolerance. But till you have a wisdom, you really don't know the destination. You do good in this circle, but you don't know how to exit. Right? So, Then it is the second bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means the wisdom is also well known as a bodhicitta. The wisdom that the mother has a wisdom. The sandcastle is not real house. So that is the wisdom. So here, the wisdom, before we talked about the different schools. So that different schools has different understanding of life. So sometimes some people understand, okay, life is not permanent. It is going to change. So that understanding is also wisdom. But if you know that self is also not so real, that is also wisdom. And not only self, just everything is not so real. That is the third wisdom. Yeah? So you have to train in this way. It is not that you have to think like everything is nonsense, but you must have that understanding. Okay, sandcastle, it's good. My daughter is playing useful, but still it is not real. So such kind of understanding you should have. So then you are walking on the path. You are going to the on the path to the liberation or enlightenment. Right? Once you have this understanding, increase your understanding, develop your understanding. So that's all. Now we discuss question.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So you just talked about destination, and that's enlightenment and liberation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know for other people sitting in the room, like when I hear those words, I just immediately think that is just such a massive aspiration, sort of way over there. It seems like quite a high aspiration. So for I kind of ignore that a wee bit, the enlightenment thing, because I just think I'll just work away at the basics. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll go back up to 1 and 3 and 4 and 3, and if you know what I mean. I don't know if anyone else feels a bit daunted by that word enlightenment. I feel very daunted by that. I guess that's what I'm saying. It's sort of, it seems not possible for me. Is that fair to say that? If you know what I mean, at the moment, I kind of park that because it can feel a bit overwhelming or daunting.
Maybe we are discussing a little bit in a different way, and it seems that it is not something that we can achieve soon.
Yeah, the destination.
Yeah, destination. But you can think of, you can have a different kind of dreams to achieve. If you think I want to be open-minded, you know, with anybody, easily talk, easily, so that somehow it is difficult, right? So if everybody look at you now, you feel uncomfortable,
Yeah.
right? So this kind of problems we have, and that makes our life a little bit difficult, and it stops to do some certain things. So if you have like, okay, I work for I work, I study, and try to be open-minded. So that can be your destination for some time. So when you walk towards that, maybe on the way you before reaching that, maybe you will like more close to the destination, which is so-called enlightenment. So sometimes it's funny because when we ask people, are you a good Buddhist? They say yes. But are you a good human being? And still they don't know. So you can work towards any kind of destination. You can figure it out, and then you can learn those wisdom or techniques from different tradition. So you really don't need to think about, okay, enlightenment is not possible. That doesn't mean you cannot do anything from. Did I say something?
Helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's helpful because, we've been talking about intention and things recently, and I guess it's helpful that for me, if I don't say, oh, I'm intending to be enlightened, but if I say I'm intending, I think that word destination's a bit of a funny one because I sort of associate with aeroplane trips and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
But if I say I'm intending to be less of a pain in the neck at work tomorrow, then that's achievable. And I think I like the list, it's good. I like 1 to 5, it's a really helpful guideline, but for me personally, if I focus too much on an end game of being enlightened, I think I'd probably give up a wee bit. And I think it's really good to be reminded to do the simple, just the simple things.
Yeah, I can understand, but I will be talking on 17th, right? Here again. So there are 84,000 different teachings.
Yeah.
So I think maybe you can you can see something else. I mean, it's really depend on you, because even I'm not hurried to achieve enlightenment.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's reassuring to hear that. That's good.
But this, when even I think about these things, it makes me easy. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
think it's really helpful.
yeah. So I think that is enough for sometimes.
Could you say that walking the path is more important than targeting the destination?
You must start right. Otherwise, you will never reach. Yeah.
Acharya, I remember when I have this type of question, I ask you, and you talk about cooking. By cooking, you can practice six perfection.
Yeah.
Maybe that there will also, because it helps. I think it helps.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a good cook.
Yes.
Many of these people know. Maybe you don't know, but when I teach, they say very good. But when I cook, they say perfect. So, that's true. I can understand. I remember like 10 years before I wrote, I published a book, and that is this six perfection. Yeah. And like a few months before, I read a little bit here and there, and I feel like, oh, that time I was more smart, you know. So that time I talked. Actually, we had a group, like 50, maybe 55 monks, and we write articles on Buddhist philosophy only. But we don't really try to explain like in an academic level. We try to explain to like 6, 7, 8-year-old child. They will explain. I remember that if you cook and think about these 6 things, right? So you must have a little bit awareness, understanding what you are doing, and then you must have a focus, yeah, cooking and focus, and then you must have a joy to cook, and you must have a tolerance. You know, like even you are tired, even you have less time. You must manage in this way, so tolerance is important there. And then, ethical disciplines. And you make sure that you are not adding more salt or less salt. You have to make sure that you are not burning, yeah. And you make sure that you cooked well. So that discipline is also so important there. And then, of course, generosity is the first one. You must buy good vegetable, otherwise momo will be not good, right? So, giving, you have to give something, and then you can get good vegetables, and then giving is the first thing. So I think if you try to put these 6 things on small work, maybe you will have an idea that you can develop that object. So once you change the object, you already trained in this way. So that is what I said. Yeah. Maybe I said more, but I don't remember now. Yeah.
Can you become attached to non-attachment? Can spirituality become materialist? I am the one who gives. I am a student. I am not personally, but I am a lama. Or can a spiritual path, can Buddhism become attachment in itself?
Shantideva said, if you have an attachment towards awakening, just don't abandon that attachment for sometimes.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a good thing sometimes. Yeah.
In any moment, you have a choice of what you might do. And so for instance, like I might be, you spend the day cutting thistles that will be good for the stock, for the sheep or the cows, and you're pretty bored by doing that, but it's a tolerance. Or you might want to spend time, there's a friend who needs some support, is there?
Mm-hmm.
some sort of guidance in how you choose on how to use your energy and effort?
So energy, it's my experience. If you, you can change any kind of situation into a positive kind of thing, because it is depend on you how you take it, right? If you're working so hard and feeling tired, going here and there, yeah, that's right. But in a way, when you go to gym, yeah, or you go for walk, you want to lose a little bit weight, you are working same, the physical work is same, but how you take it, right? If you take as an exercise, even you cannot think much, just take an exercise, as long as you have to spend the same time, and then your mind changes. I remember a story from Tibet. The father bought a lot of jewelry, ornament to daughter, and then he put in one bag, and then he says, okay, carry this one and go to this shop, that shop, market, and see all and come back. She feels so heavy, and tomorrow the father takes all those ornament and put on, did you see Tibetans, like they have lots of things, and then she goes again, the father sent her, see this shop, and come back, she feels so good. So the weight is same, but how you take it, yeah. Maybe you need a little bit training, but it is possible. It just also happens to us, like when we go to gym and you have to, lift up these heavy things, but you have, okay, this is going to make me stronger. And sometimes people say, help me, and work so hard. Physically you are working and building your muscles, but mentally you take as a duty, or so there is something to think like this. Yeah. Okay.
So, regarding the bodhicitta, what's the relationship with taking vows? Well, taking vows will help with generate more bodhicitta?
Of course, I think that is that helps a lot. If you are not killing any animal, and you just take a vow, that means I'm not going to kill any horse. Basically you don't kill, but if you tell yourself, I'm not going to kill any horse for lifetime, you feel more positive, you feel that you have some quality. But if you just don't do that, in lifetime you don't kill. I think I cannot kill anybody, like human being. But if you don't take the vow means if you don't tell yourself that I'm not going to do this one, there is a difference, right? So taking vow means you are telling yourself that you are not going to commit this kind of sinful action, but you literally don't do. But if you tell yourself, forget about how merit you earn, but literally in your day-to-day life you feel more better. So that is the difference. So if you take vow, it's good, always good. And sometimes also you can break, it's okay. Really.
So in Buddhist tradition, will like the teacher or assess like the student, okay, now I think you are qualified to take the next vow, and what is be like? Because you said you have taken more than 250 vows, something?
I don't know. Yeah. So that tradition, yeah.
Mm.
I don't think teacher can tell you which vow you are qualified to take. It's Buddha says you are your own master. You know yourself very well. And everybody in this room, you know yourself completely. Even you have some secret that you don't share with mother, you don't share with your loved ones. You know that. Nobody knows, right? So you are only your master, or you are the one who knows how to correct yourself. So you know that which kind of vow you are going to take, or you can take, right? So teachers randomly, gaze, listen to you, and they say, okay, now. But I don't think teachers can tell you, okay, next is this, because basically you know, right? How I know you? I know a little bit, but completely there's no way to know yourself. But if you know yourself completely, then I think when you know the real nature of yourself, the real nature of you and the real nature of me, there's no difference. But outside look and language, there's a difference. But the real nature of you and the real nature of me, there's no difference. When I know this one, somehow I know you very well. So in this way, yeah. But normally it's difficult to say. Okay.
So can you also talk a little bit the relationship between the Hinduism, like the yogis' way to the past enlightenment, and their similarity or differences?
The main difference is how you understand yourself. So Hindus talk about Atma, and Buddhist talks about Anatma. Means the self is permanent. So that is not the only the thing Hinduism talks. Hinduism talks like 1,000 things. But the main difference is self is permanent. But for Buddhist or Buddhism or Buddha says self is not permanent. Self is impermanent. So there all the difference come. When you say I'm not a permanent being, the feeling is different, emotion is different. When you say I'm permanent, and a certain kind of emotions arise, so that is so according to that, whatever you call enlightenment or liberation, once you have this concept, everything will be different.
I'm wondering, when is the first time that the Bodhisattva vows were taken? Like, was that after Shantideva, or was it
Wow.
happening anyway already, and he just wrote about it in a way that people were really, his way of explaining or unfolding was just attractive to so many people?
Not Shantideva, for sure. Before Shantideva, there are many, and then Buddha was born 5th century BC, right? So 2005 or 2600 years before. So almost 1100 years after Shantideva came. So I'm sure not the Shantideva. But this is a good question. Who started this concept, or who was the first one thinking about this Bodhicitta, or like cultivating?
For the Bodhisattva vows.
Yeah. Basically, I believe this Buddhism is a human civilization. It's not just magically created, or it is developed from Buddha and then from Nagarjuna or other masters, Shariputra. Developed. Buddha has a great idea, but after sometimes many developed. So the Bodhicitta, I think it started like we live together. I always take the banana first, for example. And you are not happy with me. And then I knew that, well, as long as you are not happy, I'm not happy, so not so happy. We have to live together. As long as you are not happy, I'm not happy. So that's the first, kind of seed that Bodhicitta started. Then I cut half and give you half banana. You should mean this my view. Then that Bodhicitta started. Yeah. It can be banana, apple, it can be anything, not necessarily banana, but the concept. Yeah.
So my question is,
Yeah. So then vow, of course, after that, okay, you share, and then I say, you are sharing the banana with me always, and then you appreciate it. I said that. That is the first Bodhisattva's vow. Sharing with others and appreciating that. That is the Bodhisattva's vow. So there it started.
so for me this is an assumption, you may know, that may be in your knowledge, but let's assume that it was after Buddha, like sometime after Buddha it was formalized.
I don't think so, because philosophically, what they feel we don't know, but philosophically, logically, Buddha became Buddha means somehow he had no selfish thinking.
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Once you have no selfish thinking, you always doing something for others. So from there we can logically say that Buddha was the one. Yeah. But the Chandrakirti says these different schools born from the Buddha. Buddha born from the Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva born from the compassion and loving kindness. Right? Basically, if you care each other, Bodhisattva can happen, Buddha can happen, and then different great traditions can happen. So that's what Chandrakirti says, and I also think this is true.
So my question is something about the language.
Mhm.
It's like,
Yeah, language you can call anything. You, as long as you are feeling something like sweet, and mita, ngarmu, this is Tibetan. But you are feeling that, the feeling is there in your mouth. It does not matter you call this as sweet or you call this as mita. Mita is Hindi. You are feeling it, that's all. So language doesn't matter. Name, what kind of name you give. As long as you are having this great feeling, emotion, thought, you can call this Bodhicitta, you can call this great mind, awakening mind.
so all the same, there's a certain discipline when you decide to take the Bodhisattva vow. That's a practice of discipline in one regard. By choosing to formally take the Bodhisattva vow, that is a kind of discipline in my understanding.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm stepping up to
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. That's it.
So originally they would have been spoken in Sanskrit or maybe Pali.
There is a division called Theravada in Mahayana. So Mahayana is more Mahayana kind of the philosophy literature written in Sanskrit more, and Theravada, this philosophy or psychology, the way of thinking is written in the Pali. So the Pali is the local language. Buddha was, like every day go to get food, and then he meet people and speak, and he was speaking local language. But after Buddha, many years after, and many great masters found this idea is fascinating, great. So then they started writing in a poetical way, like in different way. So when those great masters started writing, then they created the language, not in only Buddhism, but Vedic and different traditions. And whoever those scholars, Panditas, so they started writing in the language which is perfect grammatically. So Pali has no this grammar rules much, so more soft. So whatever Buddha spoken to those individuals, that tradition is available in Pali, and whatever the great literatures, that is available in Sanskrit more because of the grammar kind of rules. Yeah, basically.
So if you take the Bodhisattva vows in Tibet, you will speak them in Tibetan, won't you?
Yeah, when you take a Bodhisattva vow, it does not matter what language you use. It is the practice. First of all, you say, I am the son of the Buddha or daughter of the Buddha. That means basically you listen, right? You listen your parents. That means you listen to Buddha. So that is a first kind of rule to take a Bodhisattva vow. And I will follow you. I will do whatever you did, right? So that is a second kind of, it does not matter which language you use. So okay, I'm not going to harm anybody, so that is one. And I will not mess up the world, So that is also one quality. And then the most important thing is, I will never keep a harmful thought for others in me. So that is the most important one. So that you can take from English, from Chinese, from Tibetan, yeah. So your vow is, you can get angry if you have a Bodhisattva vow, but you should not have the harmful thought towards anybody. So that is the vow. But sometimes you break, but again there's a way to repair kind of. So then language doesn't matter.
So if I'm reciting the vows for my own refreshment, if I'm saying them in English, there's nothing detracted from them, rather than trying to learn to say them in Tibetan.
Yeah. You must understand the language.
Okay.
If you don't understand Tibetan, I say these things, you don't understand anything, what is the point? Right? You must get the point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay?
What's the title of the book?
This is illuminating the intent. Yeah. Intent, yeah. There's an intention and you are lighting on that intention. It means you are understanding the intention. So that is the title. Illuminating the intent.
So can I ask, with the Bodhicitta and the two intentions and the paramitas and how they tie together, we need to bring both together. We need to have the motivate and the intention so we need to have the intention first, and hold that at the same time, as then taking the path.
Yes.
Otherwise we're blind, if we lose our intention, then it's just generosity just for the sake of it.
Yes.
So each has to have that behind it.
Yes.
As we're moving through so it's not sort of a linear thing, it's all interwoven, like a track.
So you have in the tradition, you're supposed to take the vow till you get enlightenment, but you can take one day. From now till tomorrow, sun rise, and I will take this one. So most of people take that. So it is easy because, okay, till tomorrow morning, it's quite easy, right? And then maybe it is not about how you become a Bodhisattva or Buddhist. It is about how you can be a good person till tomorrow morning, basically. So that is a good thing. I think even you take that, it's not a problem.
And can you make that intention and not be a Buddhist? If you're in another tradition, or you might have that thought, I really want to help all beings, and you're not necessarily a Buddhist, Would that still
I
be?
think-
And can you
think,
be
yeah.
a Bodhisattva
I
without
think,
being Buddhist?
If you have this kind of emotion or intention, then why you are not Buddhist? Right? I think already you have qualified. If I have the authority, I will give you a certificate. Yeah.
So you become that from just that intention and that.
Yeah,
motivation in a way.
everything
You're
is
following.
intention, Buddha says. Yeah, everything is intention. If you have a good intention, you kill somebody, it can be good. Yeah. Okay.
Then you need wisdom as well, isn't it?
Yeah, wisdom sometimes, there's wisdom itself, intention, you know. So intention, when you say intention, so that's, again, you are, what you are talking about, so intention. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay.
Please, could you read again your wonderful translation of
Thank you, I like to read this again and again. Oh,
the next question is, can you make us some marvelous?
Yeah, but you have to practice generosity. Okay, so I'm happy to read this great translation again and again. Realize that if I read again and again, sometimes I feel this is not so good. Realize that the destructive emotions are abandoned by the wisdom, the wisdom I'm talking about, which is well associated with concentration. Okay, you have a wisdom, that wisdom is associated with concentration. Wisdom is not an intellectual kind of knowing, some focused mind, with that wisdom. So that wisdom, and so that is the first line. So first of all, what you have to do, search the concentration. Once you have a concentration, then wisdom is easy to cultivate. So concentration, which comes, I'm talking about the concentration, which comes from the joy. Okay, that concentration comes from the joy, and which, I know this which is not good English, but so I didn't get any other way to translate this one. So which, the joy, which is free from the desire. So you have a joy, that joy is free from the desire. You have a joy and you don't have a desire. Desire for what? Materialistic world. Okay? I can share this with you. And you can correct and send me. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You started